Vamos a ir, como decía, de viaje hasta Canadá para charlar con una artista que, sinceramente, estoy convencido, está llamada a ser una gran representante del rock norteamericano en los próximos años. Y vamos allá. It's a real pleasure for me in this occasion say you welcome and say you welcome to your new music house here in Spain. Madison Galloway, welcome to la zona eléctrica.
Hello, thank you so much for having me.
Pues el agradecimiento pues es mutuo y recíproco de tener la oportunidad de charlar con ella. Y voy a tratar de explicarle un poco todas las ideas que nos están rondando en la cabeza para ponernos un poco en situación, ponernos un poco en contexto, conocer un poco al artista, de dónde viene, dónde está y en medida de lo posible, pues lo que nos pueda comentar de sus planes de futuro. Madison, I was talking to our listeners that we want to know. We have a lot of curiosity. No, we want to know where did you came from, where are you now, and I don't know where will be you in the future. I really think that there is a clear evolution in Madison Galloway's zone since the Who Knows Where EP. Now we can listen a more mature voice, a fuller music, but there's something that remains a characteristic of your brand. In your song, you have the viability to get the most of all the instruments, no matter how simple, and they can sing, introducing even some hand clapping into your songs, and any given moment gives a music quality that I find lacking in big names in the scene. All that we can hear on your music is more than the fruit of a change.
Well, thank you. Thank you so much. Yeah, when I did my Who Knows Where album, I was
Mm-hmm.
15 when I
Yeah.
did that one. So that was in 2015. So it was a while ago now. And yeah, but it's cool that there's sort of, you said that you could hear the sort of um, something was the same, even though lots of things have changed and it has evolved and sounds, different than that first one. I thought it was kind of interesting to hear you say that there was something the same through it. So,
Mm-hmm. Nada, nos comentaba que, fijaos, tenía 15 añitos, ¿no? Cuando lanzó ese primer EP, Who Wears esa primera grabación. Y curiosamente, ¿no? Pues era como ese inicio, como esa experimentación, ¿no? Que en muchos artistas se puede dar, en ella también, un poco por seguir un poco, ¿no? Al comentario de la evolución del sonido que ahora mismo podemos encontrar, esa voz que sigue manteniendo esa característica, cuando tú escuchas ese primer EP, casi acústico, con una relativa sencillez de instrumentos, a lo que tenemos ahora. Ese es el inicio. Y ahora continuamos. Madison, let me introduce you our partner Ricardo. He has so interesting things to tell you. Ricardo.
Pues la verdad que es un placer y un honor hablar con Madison porque he estado escuchando su música. Bueno, ya hace tiempo que escucho su música y estos últimos sencillos, la verdad es que son realmente fantásticos.
Ricardo is saying that he's listening to your music since a few months ago, and he wants to say you congratulations for all your music and
Thank you.
for your last singles in special.
De
Thank you
todas,
so
fo-
much.
de todas formas, hay una cosa que a mí me sorprende y es que dicen que es una voz emergente. Yo creo que hace tiempo ha dejado de ser eso, una voz emergente. Y me gustaría preguntarle si está cómoda con esa descripción o es ya una realidad.
Ricardo is saying that about about your voice, about your music, that you are an emerging voice. Are you comfortable with that? You are still an emerging voice.
Yeah, I'd say, well, yeah, I've sort of grown a lot over the last couple years from when I first started out. I still have a long ways to go of where I'd like to be, but I'd say in the sort of scene that the music scene that I'm in here in Ontario, it would still be I'd still be considered an emerging voice for sure. Um, but it's been really cool to see how much things have grown since I first started out.
Mhm.
And I think, yeah, it's really I'm really grateful for the last couple years.
Comenta que sí, que vamos, se sigue considerando, ¿no? Una voz emergente que en los últimos años, desde que empezó a moverse en la escena musical en Ontario, ha ido aprendiendo mucho, ha ido conociendo mucho, pero ella sigue considerándose una voz emergente y, vamos, a mí me gustaría que no perdiese em, esa idea, quizá esa energía, ¿no? de voz emergente como la que nos está mostrando ahora. Y si antes estábamos hablando de ese EP Who Knows Where, que antes estaba mirando porque se me había ido el santo al cielo. Mira que de forma habitual suelo trabarme muchas veces en las charlas, en la entrevista, pero vamos, en esta creo que voy a batir todos los récords. Ahora nos vamos a ir. Vamos a ir profundizando un poquito más, ¿no? En lo que es el sonido, en esa evolución que yo al menos en las últimas semanas he estado profundizando más, empezando por ese Who Knows Where, ese disco casi acústico. Y hay cosas como por ejemplo su anterior LP, Moon and Mercury, canciones que a mí me han llamado la atención, que llamarán la atención a más de uno. Hay un tema concreto que es Beginnings and Ends, donde se atreve con un sonido más gypsy, que a mí personalmente me ha transportado hasta New York, al lugar de nacimiento de nuestros amigos Speakeasy Streets. Y como no sería la primera vez, me gustaría saber si en algún futuro lo tiene planeado o no, o ha sido algo pasajero. ¿Habría posibilidad de abrir una colaboración con una banda de ese estilo? Madison, I was saying to Ricardo and to our listeners, sometimes I feel nervous. I don't know why. On air today, I would like to apologize if I have any mistake. Of course, speaking and saying to you things like I want to say. We have been listening so much to your music. When I was talking about evolution on your song since that EP, who knows where, the next step on your music is Moon and Mercury. In that long playing, there are many songs that caught my attention. I would like to talk about some of them. One is Beginnings and Ends, where you there with a more gypsy sound that has transported me to New York. New York is the birthplace of a band friend of our show, Speakeasy Streets. And they are a gypsy jazz band, so funny with a song so similar to these beginnings and ends. And in this album, you have a collaboration with other artists, but will be there would there be a possibility of a future collaboration with a band of this gypsy style?
I hadn't thought about it, but maybe. I am a really big fan of gypsy jazz music. I think it's very cool, and I do love to listen to it. And yeah, it was cool to incorporate that into. I think maybe I was listening to, I guess when I wrote it, maybe I was listening to a lot of gypsy jazz at the time. I wanted to sort of bring that in the I guess it's in the bridge that it really sort of comes out a little bit. But yeah, that'd be cool. I've never thought about it. But Beginnings and Ends was a fun one too because of the whole sort of,
Yeah.
call it the carnival at the end. And I had the vision to do that, but I didn't know how we were going to do it. And my co-producer and I, sort of chatted about it and came up, I guess, with a plan of how we could take this idea that I had in my head and create it musically, for other people to hear. And it was really fun to make that sort of carnival piece at the end. And we had everybody who was in the studio was all there, and we're all talking and clinking glasses, and we just kept layering it up, and it was really fun to do that one.
I would love to be there, and
Yeah.
it's great because it's a song that breaks all the line in the album, but is not a so strange song, to us that sometimes here on the show we are so metalhead, so rock, so heavy, and suddenly we find a song like this that is, as you said, so fun, so happy, that makes you dance and take us out of our control, our comfort zone,
Yeah.
and is awesome. So let me translate, please. Estábamos hablando de este tema, de este Beginnings and Ends, que es un tema muy, muy gypsy, muy rollo Speakeasy Streets. La verdad es que joder, el abrir la posibilidad a una colaboración con, bueno, con ellos ya sería brutal, pero con cualquier otra banda de este estilo es una de las posibilidades, ¿no? Que ella baraja, porque le gusta mucho el gypsy jazz, tiene muchísimas influencias, tenía esa idea en la cabeza de esta canción y, y claro, no sabía cómo materializarla, ¿no? Entonces fue cuando llegó su coproductor, le dio un par de ideas y sobre todo la parte final de ese tema, que es ese carnaval en el estudio lo recuerda, pues eso, con todo el mundo ahí, pues brindando con vasos, con botellas, haciendo una fiesta. Y es un estilo que a ella le gusta mucho, ¿no? El gypsy jazz, que quizás no sería un estilo como para hacer un trabajo completo, pero pero que sí, que le gusta mucho vamos, yo estaba de acuerdo con ella en ese sentido, ¿no? Que es una de esas canciones que a nosotros muchas veces, dentro de todos los metalheads y todos los heavies que somos aquí en el programa, oye, pues te llega una canción así, encima con esa voz, pues claro, no puedes hacer otra cosa que aplaudirla, casi que ponerte a bailar y joder, que nos encanta muchas veces pues cuando pasan estas cosas, ¿no, Ricardo? Cuando nos sacan de nuestra zona de confort así.
Sí, yo tenía una pregunta parecida y al gypsy también le unía el ragtime, que es un estilo de jazz que también explora bastante en su música y más concretamente en su álbum Moon and Mercury. Pero no quiero ir tan en profundidad como has sido tú, sino que yo quiero hacer una pregunta de esas que definen un poco al artista. Y es que me gustaría preguntarle a Madison cómo le gustaría que alguien al hablar de ella la describiera. Si es una compositora de rock, una músico de blues o una cantante de folk.
Madison, I really love Ricardo's question because puts me out of my comfort zone. Ricardo want to know, and he was thinking such a same of. He was thinking such a thing of me in the occasion of the song beginnings and ends. But Ricardo wants to know how would you like that someone to describe you when talking about you? Are you a roots rock songwriter, blues musician, or folk singer?
Yeah, well, it's interesting because I think I've had a hard time describing my music because sometimes I do have a big range of what I do, especially on Moon and Mercury. I had songs like Beginnings and Ends, but then there were songs like Season of Treason was very different, or and there's all these different sort of genres on there. But what I'm, I guess, sort of going for right now, and the music that I'm making right now, I think is sort of, I guess, like Southern rock, kind of like that roots rock blend. So there's like some rocky elements, some bluesy elements. So I think Southern rock is a pretty good encompassing term for what I'm doing right now, I guess.
Pues, Ricardo, pregunta complicada. Ella nos comentaba que es interesante porque ha tenido, durante mucho tiempo, ha estado tratando de describir su música, porque tiene un abanico muy amplio en lo que hace, sobre todo en ese disco fantástico, Moon and Mercury, que por cierto lo tenéis en Bandcamp, tenéis aquí
¿no?
el enlace de Bandcamp, donde te puedes hacer con la música de
Ah,
Madison Galloway, y donde en este disco te vas a encontrar canciones, pues eso, como ese Bikini San Ends, donde hay canciones como Season of Treason, que es alucinante. Vamos, hay mucha variedad. Eh, mucha cantidad de géneros
sí,
y incluso lo que está haciendo ahora son canciones totalmente distintas una de otra. Y si me deja la pantalla continuar, eh, a ella le gusta quizás caracterizar su música como southern rock, o una clase de roots rock, incluso doblando, llegando a puntos donde hay elementos mucho más rockeros. Y la verdad es que acom- llegando a un punto de unión entre un inicio, entre un álbum y el otro, lo que está haciendo ahora realmente es un poquito, yo aquí ya me atrevería a decirlo, una evolución, ¿no? De todo
ujú.
esto, pero siempre siguiendo esta característica. Madison Galloway está con nosotros aquí en la zona eléctrica, hablando un poco de dónde viene, dónde está ahora. Y un poco queremos conocer, pues, qué secretos podemos sacar de este artista. Madison, we are analyzing so much your music because we want to know where will be Madison on future, and I really think that this previous album, Moon and Mercury, yeah, is a perfect example of the North American music nowadays. I like so much when I find on an artist that can mix a lot of styles on the same album, but in all the songs you find a thin line that joins all of them. But I would like to know why Coffee Stains is the only instrumental song that I have here from you. An instrumental song, is that intentional, or there was not a story for that song?
Yeah, so I had written Coffee Stains, and yeah, I just wrote it on guitar, and I
Mhm.
heard it as the sort of instrumental song. And when I first wrote it, I think I had some ideas of how I wanted it to sound if I was to record it. And yeah, lyrics just never really came to me for it. Like I didn't,
Mhm.
but not in the way of like, oh, I can't think of something to put to this. I just didn't feel like there were lyrics for it, like that it didn't need lyrics, I guess, and that I really just heard it as an instrumental song. Um, but I think what was interesting, because you mentioned of it not having a story for it,
Mhm.
and I had somebody at a show I was playing. He came up to me because I didn't have a name for the song initially. I didn't call it Coffee Stains. It was just this unnamed piece of music. And somebody had come up to me after my show because I asked everyone who was there if they thought of anything when I played it because I was going to try and come up with, I felt like I needed to call it something. So I had someone tell me that I should call it Coffee Stains because if you spilled coffee, it would make like an abstract kind of image. And anyone who would look at that would see something different. They would see a different picture in this coffee stain. And he said that anyone who listens to an instrumental piece of music is going to hear a different story. And I was like, oh, that's so cool. And I had never thought of it that way. And I loved that explanation that he gave. And so sometimes I'll ask people, you know, like, oh, what was the story that you heard there? And so I think I like it now, not having lyrics to it, because it gives, I don't know, it's one song that I have where anyone can listen to it and get like make their own story to it, I guess. And it's kind of cool.
Oh, it's awesome that an instrumental song has this great explanation. So let me translate, because I think that Ricardo has another question about
Okay.
this song. Le hacía una pregunta y yo creo que Ricardo tiene una pregunta relacionada con un tema que es instrumental. Es la única canción instrumental que hemos podido escuchar de Madison, que es Coffee Stains, manchas de café. Y un poco por resumir, porque una canción instrumental tiene una explicación mucho más larga que por ejemplo, el anterior tema con el carnaval y todo eso que tiene. Y yo le preguntaba si hay una canción instrumental para un artista como Madison, es porque ha surgido así de forma intencionada o porque no había una historia para esa canción. Y ella, Madison, que es una artista que es muy activa en tema de redes sociales, hace un montón de conciertos online para seguidores y demás, que te recomiendo que puedas ver alguno en directo, sobre todo los domingos por la tarde. Suele actuar. Y algunos seguidores le decían, oye, pues abrían un poco la posibilidad, ¿no?, de hacer un tema instrumental. Y nunca llegó a plantearse una canción para este tema como tal. Y lo más curioso fue el título de la canción, esas manchas de café. Y es porque, claro, si tú viertes café en un sitio, las manchas siempre salen de una forma abstracta, nunca te van a salir dos manchas iguales. Pues igual que la interpretación que tú le puedes dar a una canción instrumental, es decir, que al final el artista lo puede hacer pues pensando en cualquier cosa, y cada una de las personas lo va a interpretar de una forma distinta y válida a la vez. Porque al igual que las manchas de café, es decir, uno puede ver una cara, un dibujo o lo que sea, pues en un tema instrumental también. Y es realmente fantástico, Ricardo.
Pues sí, efectivamente, yo tenía una pregunta parecida y sobre todo sobre esta canción, y es que yo más me iba por la música que podemos escuchar en este Coffee Stains, y es que a mí, la música que escucho en esta canción fluyen influencias hindús, marroquíes y casi, no sé, igual meto la pata como es habitual, pero casi diría españolas. Y me gustaría qué es lo que ella siente, qué es lo que ella destaca de este mestizaje que hay en sus canciones.
As I was saying you before, Madison, a little secret. Ricardo and me, we don't speak on
Oh,
the during the week. I don't know what are his questions, and he don't know mine. But sometimes we get at the same point. And Ricardo, about these songs, he says that. Coffee Stains has Indian, Moroccan, and even almost Spanish influence.
Mhm.
Do you like to? What do you like to highlight about this mix of cultures?
Yeah, I guess I really enjoy listening to, well, a lot of music. We talked about, gypsy jazz. I also, love listening to sort of more traditional, like Indian music, and as well as like, yeah, Spanish and Moroccan music. I just, there's so much good music, and I love listening to music from all around the world. Um, and I think at the time that I wrote Coffee Stains, I was I think I had really wanted a sitar. Well, I was gonna say I still do, but I got one since, and I think what sort of how I started listening to these different music from different cultures was listening to the album that Robert Plant and Jimmy Page did
mhm,
together, No Quarter,
mhm,
and they did that with a live Egyptian orchestra.
mhm.
And I loved it. And I was pretty young when I listened to it because my mom, well, she's a huge Led Zeppelin fan, in love with Robert Plant, and and so she had this album, and so I remember listening to it, yeah, pretty young, and just loving the sounds that they were, incorporating into their music. And so I think that's sort of what started it. And then, yeah, and then I, branched out from there. But when I wrote Coffee Stains, I think I wanted a sitar, and that was maybe a way that I could, because it was very influenced, I guess,
Mhm.
by the sound of sitar. And so that was my way of enjoying that without yet having one. But I've since got one. I can't play it yet, but I will.
Oh, let me translate only a little work. Thanks to your mother for being an Led Zeppelin fan.
Yeah.
Ricardo decía, bueno, por un lado que me ha gustado, ¿no? Que su madre es una gran
Ujú.
fan de Led Zeppelin y de Robert Plant.
Buen gusto, buen gusto.
Y le llamó la atención cuando, cuando vio un concierto de Robert Plant y Jimmy Page en directo en Egipto con una orquesta y demás, le llamó muchísimo la atención y tenía una de las cosas que quería incluir en esta canción era un sitar y justo el productor dijo, oye, pues tengo uno, pues podemos incluirlo. Y era un poco fíjate cómo esta canción, que a lo mejor para muchos podría ser, bueno, pues una canción instrumental para darle a siguiente y demás. Tiene tanta amiga, ¿no? Podemos sacar tanta información de un artista a partir de una canción que es solo música. Madison, I would like, if you don't mind, to share with our listeners one song from you. For me, this is one of those occasions, when you're listening to an album, you're listening from the one to the 10th song, and sometimes on the first listen, you said, "Well, this is my favorite song, the number one, the number three, the seven," and with you I have a problem because I don't know, I can't choose my favorite song from Madison Galloway. Because I would like to share with our listeners one, for me, one of the most special songs from you, and I would like to talk about it. If you don't mind, I would like to share with our listeners the song "The River."
For sure.
Vamos a escuchar la música de Madison. Le decía que tengo un problema con Madison porque es una de esas artistas donde me cuesta mucho escoger la canción favorita, que muchas veces cuando tú escuchas un disco de la canción 1 a la 10, pues dices, a la primera escucha yo, pues esta es mi canción favorita y ya. En su caso es complicado. Yo lo que voy a compartir con vosotros es una canción que ya sonó aquí hace muchísimo tiempo y yo creo que para mí es la canción más especial de Madison. Escuchamos un poquito de su música, esto es The River. Siento actuar como esos malos presentadores de hace muchos años que hablaban por encima de las canciones y no podías grabarla. Gracias a todos los que estáis ahí siguiéndonos a través de Facebook. No os podemos saludar a todos a la vez porque no me dan los ojos para todo y hacerlo bien. Ahora en ratitos os saludamos. Ricardo, si tienes que intervenir, hazlo ahora.
Pues sí que tengo que intervenir, Manuel, y es que tengo por aquí una de esas reseñas que me gusta que el artista al que estamos hablando que la pudiera entender. Va a tener que leerla y lo siento por todos aquellos que están que nos escuchan a través del Facebook o a través de cualquier otra plataforma porque que son extranjeros y que no se van a enterar de lo que estoy diciendo. Pero bueno, que luego la colgaremos en las redes y podrán leerlas. Madison tiene ahí el chat y puede ya leer esta pequeña review que le tenía preparada.
Pues ahora se lo comentamos. Respecto a esta canción, Madison, as I was saying before, I don't like to cut the songs. I'm sorry, I am like that. host that radio stars in the 80s or in the 90s, that when you were ready. You are so young, probably you don't remember that, but there was a time then where the CDs didn't exist, and the only way you have to have a song from your artist sometimes was recording it from the radio station, and sometimes you were praying that the host did not speak over the song,
Yes.
and I did that, and I'm sorry. Later we will we listen the song, the whole song. I was saying that this is for me the most special song from you, because this was the first song that a common friend, that is Brian Hisson. I want to greet him from here. The first song he shared with me from you, and I said since that moment. Oh, it's awesome, the voice, the music, the energy of this artist, and I want to know more from you. I want to say that in the chat is pasted a review from Ricardo that will read later for you to know. To our listeners, we'll paste it after the chat. We have a problem. I can't do the two things at the same time. I'm sorry, but I want to know from Madison, how do you describe how do you describe yourself? You are a guitarist who sings, or you are a singer who plays the guitar?
Well, I think that I always felt like I was a guitarist who sang, but recently I've sort of been, putting more, I guess, energy into my singing and wanting to be the best singer that I could be as well. But when I first started playing guitar and doing shows, I was more interested in
Mm-hmm.
learning guitar and getting good at guitar, and so but I did enjoy singing, and I love performing, so I would I would sing and play, but I felt like I was more of a guitarist than a singer. um but now maybe it's becoming even. But
Eh, pregunta trampa de la zona eléctrica. ¿Que eres guitarrista que canta o cantante que toca la guitarra? Y no quiero equivocarme en la traducción. Ella siempre siente que es una guitarrista que canta. Pero recientemente ha tenido una serie de sensaciones, de energías cuando canta, y espera ser una mejor cantante de lo que es ahora, ya que ella empezó tocando la guitarra, haciendo pequeños shows, y estaba más interesada en aprender a tocar la guitarra, en coger mejor aire de la guitarra, y ahora mismo pues adora y le encanta cantar, y le encanta actuar. Ahora digamos que siente como si era antes más guitarrista, ¿no? que cantante. Pregunta complicada. Y ahí tenemos la respuesta de Madison, Ricardo.
Bueno, pues Vamos allá con lo que he sentido o lo que siento cuando escucho la música de Madison Galloway. Estas son las palabras que...
Ricardo, now Ricardo is saying the review. You can read it on the chat. Yeah, is there is. You can read it now or later when you want. Anyway, I will send you the review. Ricardo want to share the review with the listeners if you don't mind. Ahora sí,
Yeah,
cuando
thank
quieras, Ricardo.
Vamos allá. Tengo serias dudas de lo que debería escribir, aunque supongo que quien se hará cargo de elegir las palabras será, como siempre, mi subconsciente. Un gran fan del rock, el southern, el folk, el blues. Y desde aquel Moon and the Mercury del 2019, un fiel seguidor de Madison Galloway. Supongo que he delegado mi confianza en él, y la realidad es que nunca me ha fallado. Fue en aquel año cuando descubrí que la imaginación de Madison Galloway es proporcional al inmenso talento que destila en cada una de sus canciones. No hay muchos compositores que sean capaces de hacer que mis neuronas se esfuercen al máximo. Madison lo consigue, logra que ponga toda mi atención en lo que me propone. Y basta que durante un solo segundo deje mis pensamientos vagando en otros lugares para que pierda el significado de sus temas. No, no son un laberinto de complejidad en la que te desorientas. Simplemente están construidos de calidad y elegancia, con una gran complejidad, inteligencia y cuidado en su música y letras. Y aunque sus composiciones brillan de forma propia, su luz también construye sombras que te atraen y te despedazan. Y esto termina creando unas maravillosas contradicciones en las que Madison parece sentirse a gusto, mostrándonos el lado positivo de las cosas y contándonos el dolor que pueden y causan en muchas ocasiones. De esta forma consigue que su música se adentre en la espesura de tu mente para encontrar lugares inexplorados a los que no has querido ir por miedo a encontrar en tu interior a alguien que desconoces y puedes llegar a odiar. Son tus complejos e inseguridades. Me gustaría tener palabras para describir el sonido de la guitarra que capta una voz que consigue hacer que te escapes de la realidad para meterte en su mundo, donde las letras de sus temas imparten castigo y misericordia, sentencia y absolución. Y así te dejas llevar, empujado por la música de esta canadiense, como esa planta que rueda por el desierto que no conoce su destino y deja que el viento sea el que elija su camino. Quiero que la música de Madison Galloway asfalte el mío y que algún día encuentre en la arena de una playa imaginaria esa botella en la que he metido mis sensaciones para saldar la deuda que tengo con este puñado de canciones que de vez en cuando se convierten en las más dulces y crueles de mis emociones.
Well, there was Ricardo's review from you from your music. I will send you later. Ricardo likes so much doing this kind of reviews because for the artist, emerging artists or ancient artists, so many times the industry is not fair with them. So many times it's so cold. I don't know the reviews, the point of view of a journalist of music. So many times, music industry is extremely freeze and is extremely hard with an artist, and but is a part of the game, and we have to play with that. Madison, nobody's watching us, nobody's listening to us. How many tears are hidden in your songs?
Sorry, how many? I just missed the last word.
Tears. How many tears?
Oh, how many tears? Yeah. Well, I guess it depends on the song. Some have yeah, like and well, there's two ways I guess I could sort of answer that, because you were also talking about the music industry and how it can be really hard and cold and things like this, right? And it's also a lot of work, and there's so much that
Yeah.
as an artist you have to do that a lot of people don't realize is part of being a musician, and that it's not just getting to play music all day. And so the process of making the the records that I've made, or just in general, is so much work,
Mm-hmm.
and there have definitely been tears you know in put into these records, from that side of it as well, and even well, my mom and I have had some adventures in getting these albums made, particularly Who Knows Where, my very first album. We it's a bit of a long story, and so I'll try and do the short version of it.
we
But
have
basic
we have all the time of the world.
Okay.
Anyway, I think that there are two kind of tears: tears of sadness and tears of joy.
Yes, yes, and there's also yes, those as well. And there's lots of tears of joy in making these albums as well, because it's such an amazing thing to get to be able to record the music that I've written, and be able to share it with other people, and then to also hear other people come back who have listened to it and tell me how much they've enjoyed it, or all the wonderful and kind things that you and Ricardo have said tonight. So that's one of the best feelings that there is, and so there's lots of tears of joy as well. And well, I'll give the short of the story, which I was talking about
Yeah.
before, was that I ended up having this like bike crash, not into anything else, just myself, and I flipped over my handlebars, and just like smashed my face and body into the pavement on the road that I was biking on. And the reason why that's connected is because we were trying to go to, I guess you just have to tell the whole thing to really understand it. So my mom and I were at, well, I'll pause first. Did you want to translate the first part of that before
Yeah.
I give you a story?
Yes, yes, yes. Thank you.
Okay.
Es una historia. Yo le preguntaba, ¿no? Hablando, pues eso, pensando respecto a la industria de la música y demás. eh, y en un momento en el que estamos solos, no nos escucha nadie, nadie nos está viendo. Y yo le pregunto cuántas lágrimas hay en sus canciones. Y claro, me empieza a contar la historia. Hay un momento en que la interrumpo y le digo, bueno, hay dos tipos de lágrimas. Hay lágrimas de alegría y lágrimas de tristeza. Y ella dice que las lágrimas, pues depende un poco de la canción. Hay dos formas. La respuesta corta, o también la respuesta larga. Y respecto a la industria de la música, que ella nos estaba comentando, que muchas veces la industria de la música es fría, es dura y realmente este tipo de industria lo que requiere es muchísimo trabajo. Hay músicos que no entienden la cantidad de trabajo que requiere hoy en día este tipo de expresión cultural, podemos decirlo. Y en el proceso de hacer los discos que ha estado haciendo hasta ahora, requiere muchísimo trabajo y ahí, pues, definitivamente, pues hay muchísimas lágrimas. Y es que poner todo eso, todos esos discos, llegar a hacerlos, tienen en su caso, pues muchísimas aventuras, ¿no? Desde desde su primer trabajo. Y como tenemos todo el tiempo del mundo, hace referencia a esas lágrimas de alegría, ¿no? Que nos comentaba haciendo estos discos. Antes, pues charlando con nosotros, se me ha ido la línea porque aquí está donde dice que también disfruta mucho, ¿no? Cuando escucha, oye, pues palabras amables y sinceras, como las que antes estábamos comentando Ricardo y yo. Y quiero hacer referencia a las lágrimas de alegría, ¿no? Y hay respecto a esa corta historia que estaba hablando antes, ella había se había dado un leñazo con la bici, había pegado con la cara en el suelo, se había puesto patas arriba con el manillar y bueno, y en este momento pues yo traducía, que es donde nos encontramos ahora, yo traducía esta primera parte de la respuesta y ahora nos sigue contando. Please, Madison, I want to know what happened after the bike crash.
Yes. So, okay. We were making the very first EP,
Mhm.
and we were down at my mom and I. We
Yeah.
were at my grandparents' cottage, and it was just the two of us, and we didn't have a car because I guess my dad dropped us off. We only had one car. So we were just there for the week, but we had the album to
Mhm.
get like ordered for the CDs. So, and we have no internet at the cottage.
Uh-huh.
So we had to go into town, the nearest town that, our cottage was near. And it's like maybe like a 15-minute bike ride. And so that was fine. We were just going to bike into town and hang out for the day at one of the restaurants and use the internet there to get the CDs ordered. So we got on our bikes, and the bike that I got, because my papa has a whole bunch of different bikes down there. He just finds them and or buys them off of people. I don't know. He has a collection of bikes.
Mhm.
Anyway, so the one that I was gonna ride, because my normal one had something weird about it, so I picked a different bike that day, and it's a little bit too big, and maybe that was the problem. But anyways, we're going down the road, and not even a minute into this trip, I don't know what happened, but I started flipping over my handlebars of the bike, and I land on the road, and my face is cut, my bike like landed on top of me,
Oh.
and so my ankle was all cut and bruised and swelling up, and my mom has no idea. She's biking down the road. She doesn't even know I'm I'm on the pavement. And so there was this older couple who were walking, and they were in front of me, and they kind of heard the commotion of me and turned around and helped, help pick me up and help walk me to the side off of the road. And then finally, my mom, I guess, is looking around, wondering where the heck I've gone, and finally sees me like hobbling around. And so she bikes back, finds out what's going on. And so, we walk the bikes back to our cottage, and we put them in the bike rack. And then I start walking back out down the driveway back to the road again. She's like, "Where are you going? Like, you just crashed your bike. Like, we'll go inside." And I was like, "No, we have to get the CDs ordered. We'll just walk." And so we walk into town. And by this time, I guess by the time we get to the restaurant, my ankle is like 4 times the size that it should be. And anyway, so we sit on the computer and we get the artwork proofed or whatever. I think we just had to say like, yes, the artwork looks good on the template. Like we're signing off to say you can print it. And yeah, and then we had to walk back again after that. So those were the literal tears of pain that went into the album. So there's the tears of joy from getting to do the album. There's the tears of emotion that sometimes are in some of the songs. And then there are literal tears of pain because sometimes you crash your bike when you're trying to make an album.
Oh my God! I didn't expect that answer. So, whoa. Let me translate, please.
Yeah.
I don't know where to begin to translate. I will begin by for the end. La respuesta, Ricardo, queridos amigos oyentes, es que en este disco hay las 2 clases de lágrimas, las lágrimas de dolor, de tristeza y las lágrimas de alegría. Y es que la historia es que es acojonante, porque su madre y ella habían cogido las bicis, no tenían coche en ese momento y tenían que ir desde el garaje de sus abuelos hasta la ciudad. En el garaje de sus abuelos no tenían internet y claro, tenían que ir hasta la ciudad porque tenían que hacer el envío de todo el trabajo, de todo el disco, pues tenían que enviarlo desde allí. El caso es que, bueno, pues la madre de Madison y Madison pues iban bajando la carretera. Vamos, se me viene de repente la imagen de Verano Azul, ¿no? O sea, bajando tan felices por la carretera, hasta que de repente Madison no sabe por qué, pero se da la madre de todas las tortas, se pone boca arriba, pega con la cara en el suelo, se corta la cara, incluso llega un momento en el que dice que su rodilla se rompe, se hincha hasta 4 veces su tamaño, vamos, que se da un trompazo. Y su madre no se da cuenta y sigue bajando la calle con la bicicleta. Hasta que alguien que pasa por allí pues oye, pues le ayuda a Madison a levantarse, a coger la bicicleta, echarse a un lado de la carretera. Yo ahora me río, pero en ese momento es que menudo ostión se tuvo que meter la chica. Y claro, pues con todo el leñazo, pues su madre se da cuenta, se vuelven para el garaje Madison con la idea de recuperarse del incidente. Y su madre le decía que no, ahora tenemos que ir porque aunque sea vamos andando porque tenemos que enviar esto hoy, todo el artwork, todo el booklet, el inlay, todo lo que es eh, eh, pues eso, todo lo que viene siendo el disco lo tenían que enviar. Se bajaron andando, enviaron el disco que pasó a ser su primer trabajo discográfico, su EP. Y ahí es donde nos cuenta, ¿no? Que ha tenido que ha tenido en esta ocasión esas con motivo del primer disco esos dos tipos de lágrimas, las lágrimas de dolor y las lágrimas de alegría de tener ese trabajo. Claro, yo le decía, joder, es que para nada me esperaba esta respuesta y para que veáis, queridos amigos y oyentes, lo que cuesta en muchas ocasiones lanzar un disco al mercado, Ricardo.
Vamos, fantástico. Una respuesta fantástica bueno, claro, ahora te ríes y dices tú, bueno, ahí, pero en ese momento, y lo cual demuestra la calidad personal y el trabajo que atesora esta joven músico. Eh, y que después de esta respuesta que voy a preguntar, la verdad es que esto lo resume prácticamente todo. En una respuesta nos ha dado toda la entrevista. No sé si se lo traduces tú ahora, Manuel.
Ricardo is saying, like me, now, a few years later, we are laughing when we are listening to your story. But I feel the pain of your uncle and of your face. Ricardo is saying, after this answer, all the interview is done. But don't. We have still
Well,
more two
have,
things
have,
to
have a
ask
more
you.
question. Tengo una pregunta. Bueno, tengo varias preguntas más, pero esta es una de ellas. Madison, una compositora, músico y cantante que está a punto de tocar las estrellas, ¿a qué tiene más miedo? ¿Al éxito o al fracaso?
Mhm. Ricardo is asking to you, Madison, a composer, musician, and singer who is about to touch the stars. What are you most afraid of? Success or failure?
That's a good question. I think I would probably be more afraid of, you said success or failure? I would say failure. I hope that I am successful and that I can continue to grow
Mhm.
my audience and meet more people and share my music further and be able to tour the world and come do a show in Spain.
Oh,
So
when you want.
yeah,
When
I
you
would
want.
be more afraid of failure.
Sí que lo traduzco, Ricardo, pero ante el éxito al fracaso, pues tiene más éxito al fracaso. Ella espera y desea tener éxito, continuar creciendo como lo está haciendo en cuanto a seguidores y público. Quiere seguir encontrándose y conociendo a más gente. Incluso si en algún momento fuese posible hacer un espectáculo en España, pues también. Y claro, nosotros evidentemente pues le vamos a abrir las puertas. ¿Hay alguna
Y a mí
respecto?
me gusta, perdona, Manuel, no sé si vas a preguntar o si vas a hacer una reflexión.
Reflexión, pregunta, pero ya que
Yo
es...
es que en base a esta pregunta que le hacía, me gustaría hacerle otra pregunta personal, de esas que ahondan dentro de la artista y que va un poquito a colación de la que le hacía. Y es que me gustaría saber quién tiene más influencia, Madison en la cantante y compositora, o es el personaje el que de alguna forma condiciona la vida de Madison.
I was starting to make a question, but Ricardo said no. He has another one, and he wants to know my question. It was great too, but I will make it later. Ricardo wants to know who has more influence,
Hmm.
uh, Madison on the singer and songwriter, or is it the songwriter and singer who, in some way or conditions, has more influence on Madison's life?
That's a really good one. Yeah. Um, hmm.
Lucky for
I don't
me,
think I've ever thought
the answer
about
is
that
yours.
before. Um, I don't know if one or the other is more influential to each other. Because I think at this point they're so intertwined, um, that it's probably just like a cycle of, both sides influencing each other. I don't know, yeah, if I could sort of separate them, I guess,
Mhm.
to to know which one influences the other more. Um, yeah, I think that it's just probably so intertwined that they're just both continuously playing off of each other, if that makes sense.
Oh, fantastic.
Pregunta jodida de las que hace Ricardo. Ella cree, después de haber dudado y después de haber pensado la respuesta, que esos dos seres están entremezclados. Son como siameses, ¿no? Eh, lo tiene complicado a la hora de decir, oye, pues cuál de los dos tiene más influencia en el otro. Y una vez más vuelve a decir, creo que sí, que en el fondo están interconectados. Le costaría mucho separar la Madison artista o la Madison fuera desde el punto de vista del artista. I have a question, and it's about your music, how you the way you play and the way you sing your songs. And I like so much to listen in your songs, and that you are including so many backing vocals. To include the backing vocals in your songs is a personal need, or do you want to involve the audience in them when you are playing live?
Hmm. Yeah, I think initially, well, there's two different ones. So there's some backing vocal that we do that is just, I guess my intention behind it is that um, it's just for the sort of sonic side of it, that I think it adds something, or, it just sounds cool. But then there's some backing vocals, like, I'm trying to think of an example. like Shade in the Shadows,
Oh, yeah.
my newest song, has the whoa chorus, and there's lots of layers on that. It's sort of like, call it like a gang vocal, and we've got a whole bunch of people who, well, not a whole, like we had a handful of people all record that part, so we had this layer, and so it's kind of like a crowd. So I think that if we're playing that song, then we'd want, yeah, everybody to join us on that and sing with us. But then, yeah, some of the backing vocals are a bit more of just sort of like textures and flavors to the song.
Yeah.
But if people were to sing them, I mean, it would be really cool as well.
Hacía una pregunta más técnica, así un poco ya saliéndonos de la, bueno, temáticas, y al final nosotros en las entrevistas, en las charlas, terminamos hablando de casi de cualquier cosa, pero Madison es una artista que utiliza, sin llegar al abuso, muchos coros, ¿no? en sus canciones, y esto responde más a una necesidad personal del artista, o responde a un intento de involucrar al público en el acompañamiento en los directos. Y ella nos comentaba al respecto que hay digamos, dos opciones. Que hay algunos de los coros en los que es, en principio, su intención que forme parte, ¿no? de ese abanico sonoro de la canción, más como arreglo, incluso casi los coros podrían llegar a ser un instrumento más. O hay algunos coros en muchas canciones que realmente quedan muy bien, como por ejemplo estábamos hablando de no de White Plus, sino de Shade in the Shadows, ¿no? Uno de sus últimos singles. Y hay muchas capas, ¿no? en esos coros, y la verdad es que no lo hace como intención primera que la gente le acompañe, muchas veces pues también por desconocimiento de la canción, pero que vamos, que sí que estaría muy bien que la gente, pues eso, le acompañase con los coros y sentir, pues eso, el acompañamiento de la gente con los coros de las canciones. Madison Galloway está charlando con nosotros en directo en la zona eléctrica. Hemos escuchado hace un ratito una de sus canciones, esa The River. Me gustaría compartir con vosotros otro de esos temas para recapitular, si podemos y llegamos a tener ocasión, hacer un pequeño resumen de lo que estamos charlando con este artista que está en directo con nosotros desde Fergus, Ontario, al otro lado del Océano Atlántico en Canadá. Grandísimo saludo también para Marcia López, que también nos escucha desde Canadá, y para todos vosotros, gracias por estar aquí. Madison, if you don't mind, you have been talking about Shade in the Shadows, a song that we played a few weeks ago here on the show. If you don't mind, let me listen a little bit to your music. Let me listen to this Shade in the Shadows, and if you have time, of course, we'll continue talking to you live with us here en la zona eléctrica. Escuchamos la música de Madison Galloway, Shade in the Shadows, suena para ti, aquí en directo.
I think sunshine all the time, shining bright can make you blind. If you swallow the sun whole, darkness will take hold. But there's shadows. Sit in the shadows. Sit in the shadows. Sit in the shadows. Sit in the shadows. Hey! When you're down and the lights go out, stumbling round in a burning house. If you fall in a black hole, you're not spiraling alone in the shadows. Sit in the shadows. Sit in the shadows. Sit in the shadows. Sit in the I know a place where you can go. Let yourself feel that sorrow. I know a place where you can go. I'm gonna find some shade in the shadow. 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 I'm gonna find some shade in the shadows.
Siente la música en el 101.5. Los domingos, a partir de las 10 de la noche, en Radio Iliberis, La Zona Eléctrica, el refugio del rock. Siente la música en el 107.4. Los jueves, a la 1 de la madrugada, en Radio Somontano, La Zona Eléctrica, el refugio del rock.
Yo no sé si estaremos, Ricardo, una vez más abusando del tiempo y la confianza del artista, pero la verdad es que...
Merece la pena.
Sí, sí, no, sin duda. Es una artista de la que cuesta el
Dejarla
preparar...
ir.
¿Eh?
Cuesta dejarla ir.
No, claro, no. Estaba pensando, gracias por la introducción, porque estaba pensando algo totalmente distinto a eso. Estaba pensando en lo complicado que es muchas veces, ¿no? El tratar de buscar las preguntas correctas para un artista como ella y que te sorprende, ¿no? Todo el trabajo, todo el esfuerzo que hay detrás de su música, detrás de su sonido. Y claro, ahora lo habitual quizás sería decir, oye, pues un artista que ha sacado un disco hace un tiempo, que está sacando una serie de singles, oye, pues cuándo va a ser el trabajo, el nuevo LP, cuándo va a ver la luz, cuándo escucharemos algo nuevo. Pero no sé si dejar las preguntas obvias a un lado o ir ya directamente al grano. Madison, I was saying to Ricardo and to our audience that in your case, when we begin to listen to your music, I sometimes I think in that moment in that email with that attached file, you download it and you listening to it. It's like the moment when you are doing anything. imagine you are waiting on a lane on a supermarket, and suddenly someone touched you with the finger on your shoulder, and you look back, and suddenly you find someone that you didn't see since high school, or a long time ago, and you say, "Oh wow!" You have that sensation of happiness, of surprise, and that's what I feel when I listen for the first time your music. I said, "Wow!" And I must said once again. So often here on the show we are so metalhead, so heavy, so death metaler, and suddenly appears Madison Galloway with that fresh sound, with that good energy, and that good vibes, and we saw that we can find the perfect mix on our playlist. Our playlists are like roller coaster. Sometimes we can play blues, we can play new metal, rock, and we have that good sensation, that good vibe when we were writing about the chat we are having tonight, and I really think that the reality is so better than all the thoughts we have before. Is better, all that we are talking right now, all that we are feeling right now. I want to know, when we are in this moment, in this point, what was the moment, Madison, when you said, "This is all worth the effort"?
I think that, well, first of all, thank you so much. And I think that, well, I get that a lot. Like, that feeling, um, frequently, when I think every time somebody, you know, says that, they loved a song that I did, or how much it meant to them, or that, or that it's helped them or something, all of those moments and are, make it worth all the hard work that we put into it. So I'm, yeah, often getting that feeling. I don't know if there's one moment that is like the moment. I think it's all the little moments of, you know, somebody, saying what my music meant to them, or, or a show or a live stream. And especially too, when I was live streaming, I started that over COVID, and which was, really difficult for a lot of people. And I think it would have been more difficult for me had I not been live streaming and hanging out with all the people who were coming to the live streams and becoming friends with them. But I had lots of people telling me during that time, like, how much those live streams meant to them, and that it got them through COVID, and how difficult it was. And that was sort of something to look forward to, and helped get them through it. So that was, I mean, that was a big moment, I guess, and that because it was, that's sort of like a specific thing. But yeah, and, even just when someone's like, "Oh, I listened to your song and I loved it, or, made me feel a certain way, are all these little moments, and they, really add up and they mean a lot. And yeah, so I'm very grateful. I'm very grateful for everyone who is listening to and supporting my music, and that I've been able to, connect with everyone. So
Oh, thank you for that that answer. Ya no sé si lo había hecho en castellano, creo que se me ha ido la pinza totalmente, pero le preguntaba, bueno, después de todo esto, ¿cuándo ha sido el momento en el que has dicho, oye, esto ha merecido la pena? Y ella dice que esa frase la dice muy a menudo. Cada vez que alguien le habla sobre su música, hay muchos pequeños momentos, ¿no? En los que ella llega a decir y llega a pensar eso que ha merecido la pena. Y es que muy a menudo tiene ese sentimiento. Ella, como antes decíamos, es una artista muy activa en redes, en streamings y demás. Ella empezó a hacer los streaming en directo en la era del COVID, en un momento en el que mucha gente lo pasaba muy mal. Y ahí fue donde ella empezó, ¿no? Había estado haciendo streamings y un poco se retroalimentaba esto, ¿no? Lo que la gente lo comentaba con lo que ella llegaba a percibir, ¿no? Y ese es el inicio, ¿no? Y han sido a partir de ahí muchos momentos en los que Madison dice que todo esto está mereciendo la pena. Es muy agradecida con todo el mundo que le pregunta, que se preocupa, que le transmite sus puntos de vista. El mismo el hecho es que yo creo que esta es una de las emisiones que más interactuaciones está teniendo del programa, precisamente porque hay mucha gente siguiéndola, hay mucha gente que quiere conocer cosas de Madison y estoy totalmente de acuerdo con ello, ¿no? Es decir, que en el fondo es una artista que transmite esas buenas sensaciones, esa buena energía y pues de esos artistas de los que quieres saber más, de los que quieres conocer, como estamos haciendo en este momento en la zona eléctrica. Ricardo, yo
Pues yo
creo que
simplemente tengo que decir que conocía la capacidad creativa de Madison, la calidad y el talento que tiene Madison, y ahora conozco lo buena persona que es y sobre todo una formidable oradora. Ha pasado por esta entrevista y tenemos que darle un 10 como nota de esta entrevista.
Ricardo wants to say now in this moment wants to tell you and me too. Thank you for your time. Ricardo wants to say that you are a very good speaker because it's not easy sometimes to get off a chat of La Zona Eléctrica like a winner, and you do it. We have a lot of curiosity about you as a musician. Even there was a question here in the paper. two questions. One of them should be the classic questions. All after the Moon and Mercury album, you are listening now the singles. What's the date to release the new album, etc. But I'm not asking you this question in this occasion. I will write it here on the paper for the next time. But I want to know. This is pure and freaky curiosity. For you, the perfect lyric has been writing, or is still on the ink of a pen?
Sorry, do you mean like have I what I think is the best lyric that I've written? Have I written it or has it not been written yet? Is that what you mean?
When I do this question, it's an open question. Your best lyric has been writing, or do you still think that you have a better lyric to write, or there is a song in all the story of songs that you can say right now this is the best lyric in the world? I let you answer both ways.
Okay. The second one's even harder because there's so many songs with amazing lyrics.
Yeah.
And even with it, like, even with there being so many songs to choose from, there's also different lyrics that are the best for different reasons. So then it becomes difficult to say, well, which one? It's like, well, this is the best in this type of lyric, but this would be the best of this type of lyric, because sometimes I think it could be a very simple lyric and it doesn't have to be poetic, and it could be the best because it just captures an emotion, I guess, so well. But then there's also lyrics that are just very beautifully written. They're very poetic, and but I don't know which. I don't know if I can pick a best of either, and certainly not a best between the two. And I think that my best lyric is yet to be written. I think that in anything that you do, I think, you generally, or at least I want to, always want to be better and continue to grow as a lyricist, but also as a guitarist and just as a person. So I think that if I was to say, oh, my best lyric has been written, there wouldn't be a goal to be a better writer. And I always want to be, to be a better writer, and I want to always, continue to write and things. So I think that it's yet to be written. But my mom asked a good question. She said, which do I like the best so far? That's not any easier question, I don't think.
But
I don't know.
I can tell you a little secret about this this question. Any answer is good. You know why? Because you can answer if someone asks you this same question in the future. I really think that as you said, your best lyric is written, and I for me it's hard to choose, but I will not say it in public, but I think that is a song from you that is perfect at 99.9%. But
Thank you so much.
but it depends of the moment, because if you ask me that question tomorrow or yesterday or in a year, I will say you one or another answer. But that's the key of the artist. You can say any answer, that any answer will be correct. And I like the answer you made, because you are not comfortable with picking one. And I like it so much. I don't remember when was the last time I was speaking in Spanish. My audience will kill me. So let me please translate, because
Okay.
I don't know where. Perdonad, queridos amigos, que no sé en qué momento se me ha ido la pinza y he dejado de traducir, pero no me puedo olvidar de vosotros, porque vosotros sois la verdadera razón de que exista la zona eléctrica. La pregunta del millón, la canción perfecta, más que nada porque la otra pregunta me costaría un riñón el hacerla en inglés para que se entienda. ¿La letra perfecta ya está escrita o se guarda en la tinta de un bolivic? Esto versión inglés.
Spanish.
Y claro, a pregunta jodida, pues la primera contrarrespuesta era más jodida. Oye, pero ¿de mis letras o de todas las canciones del mundo? Y vale, pues venga, respuesta gallega, pues de las dos, de una y de otra. Y evidentemente para ella es complicado, ¿no? Escoger, porque hay cientos de miles de canciones para decir, oye, pues esta letra es perfecta. Y un poco iba trazando la respuesta a esta pregunta de un modo de un modo bastante gallego. Es decir, porque al final no se quedaba ni con una ni con otra, porque depende del tiempo, del momento o para qué motivo puedes escoger una respuesta o puedes escoger otra. Y para ayudarla a salir un poquito del atolladero, de ese agujero, yo le decía, da igual, cualquiera de las respuestas que des va a ser una respuesta correcta, porque incluso si a mí me haces esa pregunta, depende del momento. Si me haces la pregunta ahora, yo te diría que la canción, la letra perfecta está escrita, ya la tienes escrita, y te lo diría el 99,9%, pero si me lo preguntas ayer, mañana o el año que viene, pues evidentemente la respuesta pues va a cambiar dependiendo de la situación. Pero es fantástico que un artista como ella no se conforme, ¿no? Es decir, que tenga esa inquietud de querer buscar la mejor de las respuestas, porque si fuese un artista más cuadriculado, pues te daría una respuesta con punto final. Y a mí me gusta que ella dé las respuestas con puntos suspensivos. Pues Ricardo, ya te había
Quiero
dado paso
solamente-
y ya...
Yo simplemente quiero hacer una apreciación, Manuel, y es darle enhorabuena a la madre de Madison por haber educado musicalmente a esta gran compositora, músico y cantante en los gustos musicales que ha tenido para dejarnos obras realmente fantásticas.
Gracias, Ricardo. Madison, Ricardo wants to say at last congratulations to your mother for teaching you that music influence, and I want to say once again to her thank you for that, for being fan of Led Zeppelin. And I want to say once again thank you to Ryan Hisson for introduce us to your music. We still have many questions to ask you. We are not doing right now. That's good because for any answer you are doing, we are making more questions. I'm I'm writing your name here in this special book. This is the book of the pending beers, uh, beers of or soft drinks or water, anything, health life over anything because in this book we write the name of the people we have to still talking if is after a concert better if the concert is here in Spain is awesome
Fantastic.
but we have the one more reason to visit Canada, to go to Fergus in Ontario, to see you live, to check if the sound that we can listen on your songs is as better as the sound you can play live. Madison, truly, I want to say that congratulations once again for all that you have done until today. I want to wish you a lot of work. I want to wish you a lot of nights sleeping out of your house because you must be on tour. You must be playing your music on a lot of cities. I want to wish you a lot of miles ahead to drive. Um, I want that you still using a lot of pens, writing your music, using a lot of papers to still creating songs, lyrics that can travel through the space, through time, to get people like us. We still want to share your music with our audience, and despite of tears, Madison, please never lose your smile. Thank
Thank you
you
so
for your
much.
time, and you know that from today on, the doors from La Zona Eléctrica will be always open to you.
Thank you so much. That I don't even know what to say. Thank you. Um, I do, if we have a moment, I have a
Of
question for
course.
you.
For us, no, that no, here
Or done.
we
Okay.
no, please, when you want.
I was I was going to ask you, you said that you had, well, that it would change depending on the day, but I was wondering what your the either what you thought was the best lyric that you're saying sorry, that what you thought my best lyric was or your favorite lyric. And I also thought of a lyric that I don't know if it's the best, but I like it. And I could share after as well. But I was curious to know what it was, what the lyric was that you were thinking of, if you want to share it.
There are many songs. I really think I don't want to. I want to say it right. In the in your previous album, there is a song that I had my my interpretation of the song that is rose colored glasses.
Thank you.
I think is awesome, and I want to recommend all your music, of course, but
Thank you.
that song, I think that has something special. In my first listen, I must to translate it later, because I am my English, as you know, and all the audience, my English is not so good,
It's very
and
good. Don't worry.
and and I said in a first listen, wow, this song has something. I don't know what, something special when you listen to it, and after reading the lyrics, I made my own interpretation, and I said, wow, that's for me your rare lyric, and congratulations for that.
Thank you. Thank you so much. I'm glad you liked that one. And the one that I picked was one of my new songs. It's not out yet, but it's going to be off of my album that is coming out next year. And I think one of the lyrics that I like in the song's called Tides, and one of the lyrics that I like is, the sea, she hides all her secrets beneath cold, dark waters, fear from the others, and rightfully so. And I like that little pass. I think it was, I don't know.
Wow.
There's something about it that I like, and I think it holds a lot. And overall, the song is quite meaningful. So, yeah, that's my pick for today.
Oh, perfect. I'm sharing that with the awesome with the audience. Once again, Madison, thank you so much. We'll be in touch from today on, and next year we'll be talking again to to share your new music with us here in La Zona Eléctrica. Once
I'd
again,
love that.
thank you so much.
Thank you for having me. It's been a really fun and wonderful time, and I've really enjoyed it. So thank you guys so much for having me on the show, and I look forward to the next time.
Yes. Of course, we're still listening to your music,
Merry Christmas.
eh?
Merry Christmas.
Yes, and Merry
Of
Christmas,
course,
everybody.
the
Yeah, it's coming up soon.
the chats in La Zona Eléctrica are like that ancient book, and they are never-ending stories. Thank you. We're still listening to your music. Thank you so much.
Thank you.